I am headed out with Scott Smith to do a little more independent testing today. And I thought of something last night when I was discussing what was going on with some of the residents here. I used the analogy before of someone beating their wife and then buying them gifts to make up for it, and then continuing with that behavior of beating their wife. As I thought about it, that really wasn't accurate, because the people that have gotten beat the most, the people near the crash site, the people that are displaced from their homes, they haven't really gotten anything. They haven't gotten their homes bought out. This is more like a father beating his wife and then buying gifts for his children to buy their favor and turn them against the wife. So when Norfolk wrecked their train here and spilled all their chemicals and set off the subsequent chemical bomb, they knew at that moment when that train was derailed and they saw the seriousness of what happened here, they knew at that moment that they better not continue running their trains over that contaminated soil, and they had better find another route around or do something. But what they did instead, they laid those tracks over that contaminated soil and liquid and pounded those trains over those tracks and pounded those chemicals, those deadly chemicals, into our land, deeper into our waterways for over 3 months. People say 1 month and they started taking up the tracks. Remember, that was the northbound tracks, I believe, they started with. I always get confused whether it was northbound or southbound, but that really doesn't matter. They took up one side of the tracks while trains were still going over the other tracks at the crash site. And then, once those tracks were repaired, they're still pounding those trains on the tracks that they repaired, and then started digging up the other tracks. So they have been pounding those trains since minutes after the derailment, pushing those chemicals into our land. They've basically been beating us to a pulp. Now, a lot of residents are okay with that. Either they're okay or they're forgiving of them. They're calling it an accident. An accident is buying your wife coffee creamer when she said to get yogurt. Running your trains over contaminated soil and liquid, which you caused, and you know that it's there, and you do it for 3 months, that is not a mistake. That's a criminal act. They'll never be prosecuted. They'll never be fined. There will not be any ramifications. The people that have gotten sick, including myself, I pretty much think we won't get any compensation. If we do, it won't be much of anything. Norfolk Southern has already submitted a request to dismiss any lawsuits. So you know where their heart lies, how much they care about the residents here as they swoon celebrities to come here for their 4th of July, their events. I do not hold any animosity toward the residents who go to these functions. Not at all. If they have them and you feel safe going, you need a release. You know, I'm faulting the entity which caused all this, which could put that money that they spend for PR and their stockholder videos. I mean, those events are going to look fantastic for their stockholders. And I'm sure it's going to do nothing but make their stock rise when they see what a utopia East Palestine is now. But for those people that are angry with the people that are still fighting Norfolk Southern and angry that they're putting on all these events, I do compare that to a husband beating his wife to a pulp and then really doing nothing for her but continuing the bad behavior, and then showering his kids with gifts. Because the residents that are sick, the residents that were sick, the residents that continue to get sick, the residents that fear the deadly chemicals that are still in our land, and there's no cleanup so far that I see going on in Sulphur Run. The water's gone, although I'm going to check since it's rained. I'm going to see if I can go investigate. But there are deadly chemicals still on our land. Even the people that feel safe here say they tell their kids not to go anywhere near the creeks. So at least most of them acknowledge that they know that there's still chemicals in the creeks and in the creek beds and in the land. So that's it for this short little video. I don't know if you can see, Scott Smith is in a vehicle behind me. We're going to go test some furnace filters. We're going to go take some soil samples and see what comes up.